You can hear the comms. Okay, you need a pit stop to take a shot.
Yeah. Hamilton, Jaeger bomb, pull in now, pull in. I wonder how much is actually happening behind the scenes that we don't even clock.
Beast boxing.
Yeah.
Beast boxing.
Mr. Beast,
We're trademarked at Mr. Beast, so you have to buy it
That's
from
a million.
us.
That's a million.
All right, my is on.
Here we go. Now.
Huh?
I
love
that.
I love the huh.
Hang on. Okay, you ready?
It's
Fucking born ready.
cool.
What is going on, guys, and welcome to Talk Bits. This is a podcast brought to you by the 4-Bit crew. First and foremost, if you've liked, commented, or subscribed, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And if you're brand new here, what should they do?
Tell your nan.
Tell your nan.
I got you.
I was
Where
going
have we
to
been?
say, stick around because it doesn't matter whether we're at my house, another house, in a studio. If we are just living it up in we put on a show. We get it together for you.
Can you believe how many different locations we've shot podcasts in now?
This is
We've
it.
got to be
Yeah.
up there
This
for
is
one
it.
of the highest.
Yeah. And if you can cut the part where Richard said, that'd be great.
Yeah, just beat me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But seriously, subscribe if you haven't already. That'd be great. We're going to start with closest wins. I'm going to spin a closest win straight off the bat, guys. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. For the brand new people who may have clicked on this video, you lucky people, we play a game on this podcast, and it is called Closest Wins. I ask a question, the guys answer it, and whoever answers closest to the question's answer wins. That makes sense, doesn't it? So, guys, the question for today...
2 fingers.
Pardon?
What?
Oh, that's an in-betweeners joke. There's question, 2 fingers. Can't remember that.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Go Stuart, please.
Okay.
Go on.
Guys, this podcast's closest wins question is, what percentage of the UK has tattoos?
Oh.
What percentage of the UK has tattoos?
I have a question.
Go on.
Is it just adults, obviously?
Oh, blimey. I don't
Or
know.
Is it
I-
like out of the whole 50 million population? Or is
I
it
don't
like
know.
Percentage of the UK. that's
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
googled what I said and got
What
an
percentage
answer.
of the UK babies have tattoos?
Exactly. So that's what I mean. So that means it's going to
If that throws you off, I'm sorry.
Yeah, does
but
it
I'm not-
actually...
Yeah, because you have to think, 16 and below won't have tattoos. Or 18 below, I don't know how it is to get tattoos.
Oh, I see what he means now.
And
I
if
actually
it's
understand what he
like,
means now.
say 15, 20 million of the population is 18 and under or whatever,
That is
that's
really,
a lot of percentage.
That's
of-
fine.
I haven't
just-
gone that deep, guys. I'm
Just
sorry.
go by that.
Just factor it in.
Can I do 2 percentages then? One for...
No.
Well, I've only got 1% here.
Yeah, but no, one for if it's included or one for not.
Oh,
'cause,
well...
You know,
But the percentage of children, like the number and percentage of children,
it's alright. I've got...
I don't know if it might make much
I
sense.
hadn't even thought about that at all.
No,
I
it's okay.
haven't.
I've got my answer.
I got my
Already?
answer anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, we're waiting on Rich.
I actually read this last night.
Oh, that's lucky.
Did you?
No. you just straight up believe me.
What if you get it bang on though?
That would be actually kind of sickety.
Yeah, sickety
Sickety
split.
Yeah.
Guess obviously at home, and if you're playing along at all the closest wins at home, then
Yeah, you can...
What about your score?
if you skip to 30 minutes, then we'll have Richard's answer.
Oh, hang on a minute. Nathan, by the way, isn't here today. So Nathan unfortunately couldn't attend this podcast session. But what I will say is, do we include this in the scoring, right? Or do we not?
Oh.
Because
He would say no, obviously.
but he's not here.
But he's not here.
So we include it.
Yeah, that's his fault. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
why
not our fault.
No. He could be doing something so important. What's more important than 4-bit?
Nothing.
Quite
Exactly.
literally nothing.
Yeah.
That's it.
What I'm going to do is really quickly let you guys know the scores if I actually know where they are. So, Rich is on 7 points. Hike is on 5 points. Nathan is on 2 points. And Robbie is on 2 points. So, actually, it's quite close. So, if Robbie gets a point here, Nathan's going to be feeling sour. But, anyway,
Sour Nate.
starting from Robbie, we're going to go round towards Richard. And one more time, what percentage of the UK has tattoos? Go.
There we go.
35%.
Holy moly!
35%.
35% of everyone in the UK has tattoos. I've gone for 5.
Wow.
Oh.
Gone for 25%.
Okay.
Whoa.
Back on the court. Guys, the answer is 26%.
Oh!
Can you
Yes.
believe it?
26%.
26%.
That's a lot.
It
I actually
is.
think that's
I was
quite
closer
high.
than you.
No, you weren't.
I mean,
Don't do the
I mean,
math.
I mean, 50% of the people in this room. I don't know if Robbie's got any tattoos.
Yeah, exactly.
Do
Yeah.
you have tattoos,
Yeah,
Robbie?
on his penis.
No, I don't
No.
have any.
There you go. 50% of the people in this room.
What were you on before you got a point just then?
7.
7.
Cool. I just make sure I tied that in right.
Yeah.
Guys,
That's crazy.
yeah, and things are about to get crazier.
Oh, no.
See,
Someone play an alarm because there's a closest wins bonus point. Following on from what percentage of the UK has tattoos, we now know is 26%.
What percentage of them are good?
What percentage of these people's tattoos are visible? I have that statistic.
Oh.
So what percentage of the 26%, so that's now an 100% in this question.
Yeah.
What percentage have visible tattoos?
So, I know you don't have the answer to this, but let's just discuss. What the hell does that mean? Because, like, if I wear long sleeves all the time, technically it's not visible.
yeah?
I think it's from the elbow down.
From the elbow down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I'd
Something
say
like
the
that.
sleeve, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and neck
Yeah.
tattoos and face tattoos, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's.
I've
the
got
rules on it.
an answer.
I've got an answer.
Yeah.
So, which percentage of them have visible?
Visible tattoos.
Wait. From the 25, from the UK.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
So,
no,
it
hold on.
goes back to 100%.
Yeah, it goes back to 100%.
100% is the 26%.
Yeah.
100% is the 26%.
So that 26% of the UK that
Yeah.
have them, that now becomes the whole population of this question
Oh, I'm going to change.
How many of
I'm gonna
those?
change
Yeah.
are visible.
then. Atom bomb, baby little atom bomb.
You can tell we've been spinning the old Fallout recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have made a...
Have we got answers, guys?
Here we go.
Yeah, ready.
Oh, I'm going to change mine after seeing Richard's.
Am I
No,
going?
We'll
you
go
can't.
with
I know,
Robbie,
no.
and let's head round the room.
8%.
Cool.
Yonju.
40%.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
I think more than that. I think 60% of people that have tattoos have them in a visible area.
Yeah.
I don't, because I know loads of people who have them like just on their ankles or
Yeah.
on tramp
Yeah,
stamps.
that's visible. Ankle. No.
Socks.
Tramp stamp if you're a tramp.
It's-
Are we allowed
Yeah.
to say that?
Tramp stamp.
No,
Yeah.
This is what
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Am I going to get cancelled?
If you keep saying it, you might.
Keep bringing it up. So I guess it's kind of however you look at what's visible or not. It's a really good point. But the answer that Google gives me from this question is 11%.
11
Oh.
EP.
Let's go.
But there's a lot of variables, and I appreciate that. But it's 11%. So
Yeah.
According to Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God's Google. When has Google ever been correct, though?
I haven't asked it in a long time. Google? No, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't
Let's
know?
help everyone
What
say Google.
has
Hey,
Google ever been correct?
Yeah, like
Is everything correct?
when
Can
you wiki is the Earth flat? Who knows?
Well, some of their their Bard or Gemini stuff is on the wonk. I mean, there was that whole thing where they released a language model, and someone asked them, show me an image of some of
yeah.
the founding fathers, and some of them came back as like black, whereas the founding fathers were white in America.
Okay. Is
So,
that- and
yeah,
that's-
so the point is that it can get things wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So the whole of closest wins has just all been a big lie.
Yeah.
And if you've been
yeah.
keeping score at home, forget
yeah.
all
Well,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
With
Well,
break points.
But I just want to say that it's something like 33% of the UK has a dog,
Wow.
something like
Like a
that.
third
Wow.
of the UK.
Or it
That
might even
makes
be a
sense.
touch higher.
Yeah.
So you think like
Yeah.
every other house has got a dog, and I just thought to myself, tattoos wise, every other person's got a tattoo. I knew it had to be high.
Yeah. It's true.
But
So lower than a dog.
it's not every other person. It's every other.
It's like a
other
quarter.
person.
1 in 4 people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
1 in
lot,
4
though.
people have a tattoo. That's actually quite crazy.
Yeah.
For the stigmatism of what that might have meant back in the day.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, actually. When you say it like 1 in 4, yeah,
But
definitely.
I don't think that tattoos back in the day had a stigmatism to them. I think that face tattoos probably have always had
Stigmatism,
yeah.
Stigmatism's probably not the right way of saying it, but like stigma. But like tattoos on your forearms and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, I guess if you just think of an old geezer,
Yeah, we've all seen geezers
There's
with
like a big old lion.
a cross and a rose
Yeah,
on
and
their
like
forearm.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a bulldog.
Oh, look.
Yeah, a bulldog or,
Yeah,
or
A
the
bulldog, classic.
English flag.
Yeah, on the back of it.
On the
you know,
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
You know he absolutely sinks the pints.
He's down the blooming pub every single Saturday night, vest on. Am I going to cut out loads?
Yeah,
of
and that's a good segue. And I know this will likely come out a lot longer after this happened. But make sure to go check out one of our shorts that we created for one of our videos, where we UK dads be like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of our best ones.
it's a good one. And if we're still counting the views by now, hopefully that's just increased by 200.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Not as good as
No.
ours.
This won't be out in time.
It won't. We'll see. That was a good game though.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Even
it.
though I lost.
Yeah.
So
Loser.
good job, Rob.
Thank you.
Too bad, Nathan, huh?
Yeah. Poor Dave.
He's gonna be
Poor
sour.
Dave. He's
Yeah.
going to be mad. This doesn't necessarily lead on to my next question, but a lot of them have tattoos. The question that I've got for you guys and everybody at home is UFC or boxing. Okay? Think of
Yep.
both.
Here we go.
What
Yep.
would you rather watch? What is the better sport? What is the alpha sport between UFC and boxing? Like,
Just had
what
to use
is
the word alpha.
what is? It's for the shorts. What is like? What are your views? What would you rather go and watch right now?
Well, I'm more of a beta male. So
So ignoring that.
no, I don't know. You can go first, Rick.
I've got a good answer, I think.
Okay.
For me, these days, it would be UFC
Yep.
or like the undercards, not necessarily the main fight event, because I just feel like. Well, I'm going to speak to boxing in heavyweight terms. I think some of the heavyweight boxers have been ducking one another for a while now. Like, we've all wanted to see AJ versus Fury,
Course.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then there's the Usyk Fury thing, which has felt like it's taken forever and a day to come together. So I think some of the heavyweights duck one another. It probably happens in the other divisions, but I just see it more in the heavyweights. Whereas the UFC stuff, it just feels like those fighters can't avoid one another.
Yeah.
It comes down to a fight, and you are going to get the top ones.
Yeah.
Like duke it out. And I couldn't name all the fights, but like I remember when like the Khabib Nurmagomedov fight happened. It was electric, mate.
Yeah.
Absolute fire. And I've been thinking about getting the UFC Fight Pass.
To watch
Oh, yeah.
him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You
How
know,
much is it?
Forget Sky Sports or doing that, but I think the UFC Fight Pass would be pretty sick.
Straight to it.
Yeah, I think it's like £12, £15 a month, or maybe like 15, 20 something. It's
Yeah.
about 15. I think.
You have no idea.
It's around that area. It's not. I don't think it's like 30, and it's not as cheap as like a fucking Netflix
No.
subscription.
Yeah,
I think it's about 15 odd quid a month. I might be wrong there.
I think UFC's far more exciting to watch, in my opinion. When they're scrapping each other, there's so much more that they can do, and I want to say get away with, but that's obviously not what I mean, because it's just all part of the fight. But I feel like on UFC, anything could happen so suddenly and erratically at any time. Whereas
yeah.
boxing is by no means predictable, but they're going to punch each other, right?
Yeah.
You are going to get punched.
Yeah.
Whereas in
Yeah.
UFC, you're going to get kicked, you're going to get punched, you're going to get thrown, you're going to get grappled, and
Yeah.
yeah.
On UFC, I remember this must have been like 20 years ago. I don't know when the UFC started, but a very, very long time ago, before anyone was actually talking about UFC, my dad was like, "Oh, have you seen that new fighting thing over in America?" And I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" It's like UFC or something. It's like, really, it's just started.
UFC or something.
He was like, "It's just started," or something like that. I
Wow.
don't know how long it's been going for, but before anyone ever mentioned to it, I saw it on TV, anything like that. It started over wherever.
Yeah.
Before anyone talked about it, my dad was the first one to mention it to me. He was like, "Oh, you seen this UFC thing?"
Yeah.
Or whatever. But for me, I think I would probably watch UFC. I don't watch either. I would probably watch UFC more than I'd watch boxing, or I prefer that. But I really do like boxing. But I prefer it when it isn't big hitters.
yeah.
I like there's like a Japanese one called Inoue, I think, or something like that. And he's like really technical, literally can't hit him
Yeah,
at all,
yeah.
right? But he just absolutely just smashes people. But he's not like a big guy. Japanese guys normally aren't that big of a guy, you know what I mean? But they are they've got the speed. That's what I prefer.
Agile.
Yeah, that sort of type of boxing.
Yeah.
And I like boxing anime.
Yeah.
Hajime no Ippo. That's a
Okay.
great thing. They don't have a UFC anime yet. They have Baki and Baki Hanma and all that sort of stuff. That's pretty good. But anyway, UFC is my vote.
That's gone over all of our heads.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you know anything about that, hit me up in the comments.
Yeah. So 3 UFC votes basically, isn't it?
Well, what do you say? Do you say UFC?
I said 3. So what are you thinking?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot about.
1, 2,
I forgot about you.
Yeah.
Do I not count?
I don't really watch either. Or yeah, like
I mean, nor do I.
I would only watch it if I was up the pub.
Okay, so you're at the pub and you got
I'm
a
at the
pint of
pub.
Foster's because that's your normal pint. What do you pint now?
What do I pint? Oh, I like Heineken.
Heineken,
Yeah.
whatever pint.
Corona.
Moretti.
Moretti.
So you got your pint,
It depends where you are.
and the chap he's got the remote, and barman's come over.
Looks right at
And
you.
no, barman comes over to your table. You're the only one in there. Barman comes over and goes.
8 a.m.
Barman goes over and goes, UFC or boxing? What are you saying?
Oh, that's good.
He's gonna flick the. He's
I'm gonna say boxing.
and okay. You're gonna say
Oh,
boxing?
sorry. Sorry, you carry on.
No, go on. No, it's not 8 a.m. and you're the only one in there. Actually, it's a packed out pub and the pressure's on.
Everyone's
everyone
like,
is watching like, what's he
Yeah,
gonna
but
say?
that depends who's fighting. You know, if someone
That's a
big
very good point.
is fighting the UFC,
let's say it's the biggest
Interesting.
UFC fight versus the biggest boxing fight.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's
Good
good.
idea.
I'd say boxing then.
You put
Yeah.
the box.
Generally,
Ah.
boxing has more followers, more
So
money
hang on a minute.
involved.
Is there?
And then,
Yeah, more money involved in boxing. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I thought followers wise.
Oh, well, I presume so. Money and followers go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's probably boxing that has.
Okay,
more
okay,
followers.
fair.
Are you
UFC's
doing?
getting bigger though?
Are you doing that to please the pub or to please yourself?
Well, I said boxing originally anyway.
Oh, okay, cool.
But to please the pub.
Yeah, now it's
Club.
because
Club.
everyone's annoyed. Okay.
But you know, just on something you said, Jack, about when it first started getting talked about in this place. So you would have been, you know, hearing that from your dad, maybe say for argument's sake, 2005
Yeah,
to
something
2010,
like- yeah.
something like that. But the point I'm making is that UFC goes back to like early 90s, and they didn't have weight classes back then. So you can look at some of the old footage, and there's like it's mixed martial arts still, but you got like some big sumo wrestler guy like slapping this little tiny guy and like kicking his legs, and they're all wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's
mad.
what my dad talked about as well. Where it was like, yeah, they'll just stick a sumo wrestler with a boxer.
Yeah, obviously they don't do that anymore. They
No.
introduced weight classes, but in the beginning days,
Just
it was
And
anyone.
I was like, that's nuts.
Yeah, that is
right?
crazy.
And they actually, in those animes I talked about, do that sort of stuff. Where they just like, this is the best sumo wrestler, and now he's facing the best kickboxer.
I wanna
Whatever.
watch
So
that.
it kind of sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
But the one thing I hate about UFC, and I'm just going to throw it out there, is the people that follow it with such a heavy mentality. The people in the UK, for instance, I'd say about maybe 10, 15 years ago that were heavy into UFC, had a type of brand about them. Not anymore, but they were like people that wanted to scrap, right?
Roadmen.
Yeah, I don't know. Back in the day, there was a bit of a following, not anymore, because it's such more of a bigger thing now. There's a bit of a following, a bit of a stigma around it, and it's like the people that were watching it or the people that were getting involved with it were a bit like,
Quite
yeah.
violent in general.
yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't back in the day like that aspect of it, but nowadays it's more of a thing that, you know, people just
Like-
watching the norm, really.
Like a little event. Gather your friends.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I love it because they stick the full fights on YouTube like a day or so after. So you don't
Nice.
actually have to get the like fight pass anymore.
No.
You can watch some of the big fights on YouTube. Even if they don't come out immediately afterwards, you can go back and see the big fights on there because they upload
Yeah.
them. I guess they're kind of looking at it from the perspective of like, we'll monetize this video via the UFC Fight Pass over the first like week, 2 weeks or something, or maybe even a month, and then after that, let's slap it on YouTube,
Yeah.
get some more money out of the views.
I love the thing online, the things that, like the debates online of like, oh, kung fu's like rubbish, like you stick a UFC fighter, they break his arm off or whatever. The stuff online, but then the opposite side is like, what are you gonna do in a street fight? Get on the floor like this?
Lay on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And people always have this big thing, and it's all just trying to be macho, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I just dislike that sort of stuff around it.
It's pretty impressive though that I didn't know about the whole 90s thing. So if it roughly originated from the 90s, so it's not been going along that long, but it's packing out big stadiums, isn't it now?
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that's
Yeah.
quite interesting. How boxing's been going for God knows, right?
I'd say into the
God.
I'd say into the 1800s.
Yeah, and this is it.
Like
And
as a common
The
sport.
fisticuffs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fisticuffs. Yeah, stick them up.
Yeah.
You, come on.
Come on, you.
and nice. And UFC has just spiraled upwards and upwards. But do you think there's like popular names that has made that happen? Because for me, I didn't watch or care about UFC in the slightest until, as basic as this is going to sound, the likes of Conor McGregor came about, and that made it popular for me. And I'd heard of it, but didn't blink twice at it.
Yeah.
But I saw Conor McGregor, I saw the hype, and then I've started to watch it more. So do you think there's a sudden leap where it's gone from being quiet and then it's just rocketed into space?
I think that's maybe always the case. A big personality in the game will showcase it more to the world, especially when they like flip out at a news conference or something like that. You know, these days, I don't know if boxing is such a thing, but like in my mind, but in comparison to like the Muhammad Ali sort of stage, the Mike Tyson sort of stage, you know, these are the big names. I don't personally think I could tell you who's like up there. Floyd Mayweather.
What, from a boxing or UFC?
Yeah,
perspective?
boxing. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, he's retired, isn't he? He's just having that one. Oh, is he?
Yeah, he just does exhibition fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Gets the
what-
But he
most
wants some
brothers.
money.
yeah.
But
Like Mike Tyson, he's about to fight again, isn't he?
Mike Tyson is about to fight again versus like
Paul Logan or whatever his name.
yeah, one of the Pauls or whatever.
Hold on,
And-
hold on to that thought, because when we're going to break shortly, but hold on to that thought because we're going to go on to a little bit about that. So stick that thought process in your head, stick
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah. So in terms of those big names, I don't know where you. Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't know where you were going, Hike, with the big names. Just
Well, it's just like those. They're like. What I'm saying is that like I think the big names in the game bring more like virality and like credibility and like viewership to those like to boxing or to UFC, and that's always a thing. When a big new footballer comes up in the scene, that will get more people involved because it's like this guy is the best footballer we've ever seen ever.
Yeah,
Then people are
that's
like,
true.
Oh my god,
I need to see
I
that.
need to see that.
Even if you're not
Do you know what I mean?
interested.
Yeah.
This guy knocked this guy out. You know, this new upcoming boxer just completely destroyed this veteran boxer in one round, knocked him out. If you hear something about that, that's when the hype
Everyone's
comes. So when a
tuning in.
big name like that, so like Conor McGregor, I think I don't really know this, but quote me if I'm wrong, like really good, like getting titles and all this sort of stuff, but also being a menace in the conferences, and you know that then just goes around.
Yeah.
So it's always a big name.
It's a bit of a show, isn't it? I think both boxing and UFC has become more of a show than it ever has as well. In my mind, like I feel like the build up and the media have catapulted it even further.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if before like pre-fight talks and stuff, they have a little chat and go, let's make something happen
I
here.
think so.
Because I reckon we can
Yeah,
really...
I mean
Yeah.
they do it in like.
Your animes.
No, they don't.
No, I was going to say they do it in They
WWE.
do it in WWE, for example.
Yeah.
But that
And
is
they call
Yeah.
that the business. That's I think that's how it's kind of referred
Oh,
to.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you've got to sell it, right? Because it's for the business. It's the business. The business is selling the punch.
Yeah.
And like they're really animated facial expressions. It's theatre. It's
Yeah.
performance. It's purposeful. Whereas I don't know if we can maybe compare that with doing a spinning backwards kick at someone's face. And
No, not the same.
Putting like your heel on their temple and
Yeah.
nearly killing them. But like in terms of like the pushing and the fight build up and stuff like that, yeah, I think there's probably some spectacle in that.
Yeah, I like that sort of stuff. I think I'm probably maybe with some people on the internet here try and keep that as much out of it as possible because I like the actual raw competition.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want it to be WWE. I like that stuff for sure. I don't want them to think too much behind the scenes about hamming it up because I don't want that to come into the fight itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I just want to know who actually is better.
Yeah.
That's it. On the day.
Cool. So look, that's the perfect note. We're going to go for a quick break, so come straight back because I've got my next question, which could be controversial potentially, more for people at home watching than in the room. But I'm excited to ask, so we're going to cut it here, come straight back.
Hopefully, don't.
Stick around.
So stick around.
Nice. Look, if you're watching, just please subscribe and check out the Patreon as well. There's lots of different tiers available depending on what you're looking for. You can either sign up, have your name on the description, even at the end of the video. You can even sign up to play games with us. You know, there's lots of different things that you can do. But you know, if you want to play games with us, I mean, it might be better if you just play with me. I wouldn't really worry about playing with the rest of them. To be honest with you, I don't really think any of them are any good at any games. I mean, I like playing a bit of Counter-Strike. If anyone wants to play any Counter-Strike with me, that would be good. You know, I mean, you've got to at least have been maybe like Legendary Eagle in the past. Maybe we can play some Counter-Strike. But yeah, sign up to that if you're interested. But I wouldn't sign up to play. I wouldn't sign up to it to play with the other guys. Definitely not. Cheers.
Guys, welcome back to Talk Bits, the podcast brought to you by the 4-Bit crew.
Sorry, that was just for Nate.
That's for Nate.
There's 4 of us today as well.
Yeah.
We're now the real 4-bit.
There's one missing.
Oh, yeah.
The true 4-bit.
The true
Yeah.
4-Bit. Yeah, we just won't have Nate back.
Cool.
Before the break, we were discussing whether you'd prefer UFC or boxing. We kind of came together with UFC with 3 of us, and Robbie went for boxing, but they each have their merits, obviously. The next question, which it could be controversial. Do YouTubers have a place to box?
Ooh.
Do YouTubers deserve to hop onto this hype train and start boxing each other because they're not really trained properly? I know they do a bit prior to the fight, but I've read things and I've seen things where they've said it's not right for them to fight because they can end up killing each other, doing damage to each other. They don't know what they're doing. They've got no place to fight.
That's a really good point.
Like, what are your views on watching these YouTubers battle it out?
Is this a new video coming out? Are we going to become professional boxers? Is that what you're trying to suggest?
That'd be
here?
sick.
Is that why you're getting our opinion?
I've said this to Rich in the past in a taxi, I remember, or something like that. I go, Rich, I think I should box.
I remember this.
Yeah, and I was giving you like this
Yeah.
really
I was there.
sweet pep talk of
was there.
don't let your dreams be dreams,
Yeah.
mate. Go for it.
Taxi, man.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I actually don't think they do. Is that really controversial? I don't think they
go
should be
for it.
fighting. I think it's just random.
I think we should switch this on to Stu and say, Stewie, please give us your view.
Yeah,
Of
what do
this
you think?
first. Go
I
on.
don't think that YouTubers should be boxing and they should be all over the TV and stuff. So I guess I'm going to go back a little bit. If they wanted to do it like as a bit of a hobby, I feel like they're doing it to make tons of money and they're not doing it for the right reasons.
I'm going to counter reverse you on this one.
Okay. But my view is
I'll let you go.
anyone can box. Anyone has the right to box. But there's a small part of me that thinks they're doing it for all the wrong reasons and they can, but they shouldn't. Does that make sense? Do you guys see what I'm
I
saying?
get what you're saying.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Well, let me counter reverse. There is a thing called creator clash instead.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Logan Paul, Jake Paul, right? Where they're just doing it for money. Creator clash, I'm pretty sure most to all of the proceeds went to charity.
Okay.
So there was a thing called Creator Clash. It was done by iDubbbz or whatever. You know,
That's
you guys know
N-Dub's
that?
brother.
But I wouldn't say no to them doing it for charity.
Yeah.
Am I going against myself here? I mean, like the whole like Logan
Professional.
Paul fighting like
Floyd Mayweather
I can't remember. But
and KSI.
yeah, and like
He's
KSI,
another one.
these fighting these proper big professional boxers.
Yeah.
I can't get
And
behind
then
that.
Floyd probably toning it down. Let's be honest.
And he's also old now.
It just feels like isn't like one of them 20 or between 20, 30 years old, and then obviously
Yeah.
Floyd, whoever's like 50. I don't know. I'm
50
I'm
plus.
completely guessing, but
Yeah, I think YouTubers can put on their own events and do whatever the hell they want. Like this Creator Clash thing, where it goes to charity. It's quite fun to
Yeah.
watch.
yeah.
They train, they take it seriously, they hug it out at the end. I do think maybe there's a particular health concern there, but at the same time, it's their choice, and they do have professionals training them / and looking after them. It's
Yeah.
a actual proper event,
Yeah.
right? Fair enough. I think that's completely fine. But I think YouTubers coming into the actual boxing space, YouTubers like Jake Paul and Logan Paul putting on things with like Floyd and all this sort of stuff, I'm sure a lot of people would be okay with that. And I think if you keep it off the proper networks for boxing and still have it in the YouTube sphere, they can also do whatever they want.
Mm.
But what I'd actually rather see is a YouTuber thinking to themselves that they actually have a boxing career and actually trying a boxing career and going into the real and getting and actually having real fights. Because I think all they do right now, this whole Mike Tyson stuff, this Floyd Mayweather, it's just show. I think there's a lot of the business in the background. Like, I think Floyd could have absolutely destroyed Logan in no time at all.
Oh yeah, they toned it down.
They've completely toned it down because they're trying to get money. Who's going to watch a fight where it's just one round where Floyd's just destroyed him?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be quite good to watch.
Yeah, but good for us to watch because we don't give a damn.
I think probably pay to watch
Yeah.
that.
But I'd hella pay to watch that.
But the thing is, you see that debate in the comments where everyone's saying, no, he was trying his hardest. He was, it was really close or whatever. And that people think it's...
No, they're just thick.
It
And
just
this is
can't
it, though.
be
This
real,
is it.
can it? You've got Logan Paul, who to be fair, he may have trained quite a lot, and I think he's quite physically fit. He's always been quite physically fit, but it's against a pro.
Yeah,
Exactly. Straight pro for years, never been beaten. Right?
Something
I thought he was
crazy like that.
undefeated.
He is.
Floyd,
Yeah, and there's just no. And I think the categories were out as well. I think Floyd's like not as big as Jake or whatever.
know.
So there's the category divide, and people can argue about that. But it's like, come on,
Yeah.
surely not.
Yeah. And that's what I mean with the whole situation. If you think they've got a place to do it, do you think they have a place to box in these big names and take money from boxing fans? And
Yeah, well, yes. I don't. Not on the same network, though.
no,
If I was a paying boxing fan, network subscriber or whatever, and that were to come on, I'd be like, what is this joke? I want to see actual boxers fight.
I've paid for this.
But I don't think that's how it works.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if that's how it works.
Yeah.
It would be better to see them work their way up, not just
That'd
go
be
straight to
sick.
the top.
Yeah.
Like,
Some sort of...
you don't have to just go straight to the top because that is just all about the money. They know that, these guys have got followers of 20, 30 million or whatever on YouTube.
Yeah.
They know it brings money, but they have to start lower
Yeah.
and work their way up
Yeah.
and stuff.
I actually wonder if they are allowed to fight anyone that isn't retired.
I just don't know.
Surely it's their own contracts, though. If you're thinking about that, if they can get damaged or hurt. But then you have to think Logan's now in the WWE.
Yeah, but that's completely.
So-
That's like
Yeah, but
completely
from
different.
doing the boxing stuff.
I will say I'll give Logan a pass. I actually think that's quite cool
Okay.
because the WWE fans are split between, and don't flame me, but a lot of kids love the WWE, and there's also some really die-hard fans out there as adults and such that love the WWE,
Yep.
and it's great, right? It has its place, and because it is a show, Logan is particularly athletic and whatnot, and I'm sure he likes the WWE. I think it's actually quite cool to have that sort of stuff because he's doing all the technicalities. He's doing all the moves. It's not just he's a name brand.
Yeah.
He's like quite in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's a lot of Logan fan kids out there.
Of course.
They probably like it. I don't know how the WWE fans feel about it.
Yeah.
Hit us up in the comments.
That's
And
interesting.
I
they're
love
mixed.
I love you guys. I used to be a big WWE fan back
Yeah.
in the day, but
RV, so your question to them lot watching at home is: are the die-hard old school WWE fans enjoying seeing Logan Paul in the WWE?
yeah.
Cool.
And
What do you
try not to think of it as like, oh, Logan Paul, hate Logan Paul. Try to think of it as like, is he putting on an entertaining show that is right for the WWE? That gives you what you want from the WWE that you already get from seeing your favorites.
Yeah, good question. Rich is itching.
I feel like talking about this has helped put it into cleaner perspective. Like, we know that it would be irresponsible of boxing governing bodies to sanction fights where the skill difference is too big. Yeah. You wouldn't put prime Mike Tyson up against some kid who was an utter amateur back in the day, and you wouldn't do that today with the new top dogs, right? So we know that fights are only sanctioned for equal-ish opponents.
Yeah.
So that just puts this whole discussion into two camps for me. There's a show business side of this, which is all of these exhibition fights, and that's kind of a given actually, because exhibition fights have always been show business.
Yeah.
They're just about like putting on a show, and
Yeah.
they take it easy. They kind of dance around the ring a little bit. It's a bit of a charity event, but and then there's the actual performance side of it where these guys can kill one another. I think the point you make about like, should they be allowed to come onto that scene, it makes me think of this term additionality. So, like, say, for example, if we went to the Olympics and for some reason the top spot, they gave 2 lanes in the 100-meter final to a couple of famous celebrities, that would be atrocious. But if they ran a separate additional celebrity race in a separate forum that doesn't rub shoulders with true performance, true athletics, for example, then I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
But so I guess, like, if it's one of these events that they just put on specifically for the purpose of the YouTube fighters fighting, then fuck it, let them crack on. Couldn't care less.
So like YouTuber versus YouTuber.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
fine.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they
But-
did.
No, even in my opinion, YouTuber versus ex-retired boxer, blah blah blah. It's exhibition.
but just not on a
Just
proper
not on a proper-
on a proper fight night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not on a proper. No,
Yeah.
like I don't want to pay.
If-
If I'm a
yeah,
pay-per-view person,
Yeah.
you know.
If there's 10 fights that you can have on a proper fight night, I want them all to be proper fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll tune in a separate night if I want to watch a couple of YouTubers slap one another in the ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't let if we can squeeze in 2 more proper fights, don't give them celebrity fights. I don't want to see it.
Have you like ever actually seen them fight sometimes though, and how bad they look, their technique? And I know nothing about boxing. Just to be clear, I'm not saying that I know what a good boxer looks like at all, but I can quite clearly see when there's someone who is just flailing,
Yeah.
swinging, no guard, no technique, just swinging, and they're both doing it.
Yeah.
It's horrendous, isn't it? Yeah. So, have we really answered the question? Have we just done a massive about around every?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
You
we
said,
have.
does it have a space? Do YouTubers have a space in boxing?
Okay.
We said,
And we,
yeah,
but separately,
But separately.
In their
Or-
own entity.
or
Yeah.
they have to work their way up.
or they have to do it properly. Like how Richard said for the 100-meter sprint. It's like if I see a YouTuber there, but he's literally actually made it
Yeah.
to the sprint. That's a massive. That's a whoa.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's sick.
The thing is, though, if you refer to that, say it is a YouTuber, but he is literally can run, 100 meters in like 9 seconds or whatever. He deserves to be there.
Of course he
surely.
does.
Yeah.
Is he a YouTuber or is he an Olympian?
A hidden
Yeah, I
sprinter.
mean.
Yeah. That's
You
where
know.
the identities become a bit crossed over.
Yeah,
And it's like, what are they?
Yeah. And I guess am I right in thinking that Logan and KSI used to hate each other? Was that the thing? And then they became
Sort
friends
of.
or something?
Yeah.
Because then they made
Prime
Prime.
now. Yeah.
They made Prime and everything together.
I think
Yeah.
it might also be a bit of that manufactured beef for the purposes of views. Because apparently KSI's done the same thing. I may be talking up my arse here, but apparently there was a similar thing with KSI and his brother. They manufactured a beef and then slapped loads of ads over the video where they would talk that they would like deconstruct the beef because they know that they were hot at the time. People would tolerate the adverts.
Oh
that
yeah,
they
it's a
could.
little bit, yeah.
So there's a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of that going on.
I wonder how much is actually happening that even because I like to think we're relatively intelligent, but how much do you think like is happening behind the scenes that we don't even clock, where it's just a huge, they're around a big table laughing at each other like, I can't believe these lot are buying all
That
this.
people lap this up,
and the
yeah.
whole world is lapping it up.
100.
Like, not just like 100 people, millions of people are chucking money at us, they're lapping this up. This is easy. We're cheating life. This is easy.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's just
Majority of it.
Majority. Yeah, it's a business. It's a business. They're YouTubers. They're entertainers, right? If you even want to call them that. It's all for the camera, right? If they wanted to have a real fight and they weren't discussing things behind the table or whatever, then they would be in an actual boxing league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another random question for you. Is Mr. Beast going to box?
No.
What do you reckon?
I
Can you
think
see him doing
they've
it?
probably Mr. Beast has probably been offered to box for like things like Creator Clash and all these bigger events for YouTubers, but I don't think he would ever get in the
He's
ring.
worth too much money.
Yeah.
He doesn't
like,
need the money,
he's
does he? He doesn't,
flying,
he
isn't
doesn't do it for the money.
Your Chandlers and whatever probably would.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
thing is, I know he's not doing it for the money, but he's such an intelligent and smart businessman. There must be a
Yeah.
little bit inside his head that's going, blimey, imagine if I do that as well. Like,
You know, but if he put on his own, he would put on his own. event.
true.
Yeah,
True. He would
host
just
it.
host it, wouldn't
Beast
he?
boxing.
Yeah.
And they'd want him to host it.
That's such a
Beast boxing.
Mr. Beast.
We're
get in touch.
trademarking that
Mr.
Mr. Beast, so you have to buy it
That's
from
a
us.
million. That's a million.
Yeah.
We're copywriting it now. We'll
Or,
send that
or
away.
a million followers.
Yeah.
Overall.
Beast boxing. What a class idea. Can we collab on it?
Yeah.
I'll box.
Yeah.
We
We'll
can't
do it,
box,
mate.
but we will.
My dreams will come true.
We'll end up
Your
just
cab
boxing
dreams.
together.
My short arms. I'll have to be an in-fighter.
Get in there.
Yeah. Look at them. They're so short. I literally don't have any range.
You have short arms.
Yeah, that's why I would be. I was saying to this in the taxi at the time. I said, Rich, but the thing is, Rich, I would be an in-boxer, so I'm probably taking quite a lot of hits to even get in the first place. Then I'll use the Dempsey roll.
The what?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what
What's
you're
the
talking about.
roll?
That sounds like that would be in UFC, not.
No, it's the Dempsey roll. It's actually I think it's like you do a figure eight of weaving.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
I thought it was like when you
Yeah.
do this or something.
I heard
Did you
your
hear my
shoulders.
click there?
Every swing, his shoulders.
You probably didn't hear this in the audio, but when he did that, both his
Click,
shoulders were
click,
just
click,
clicking
click.
the entire time.
Christ.
Yeah, the Dempsey
man.
roll. Look, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. The Dempsey roll. I know this from an anime, but it's
Reference to Jack Dempsey, right?
maybe
I think it's Jack Dempsey, a famous boxer.
Jack.
It makes sense.
Oh.
His name's Jack. His name's Jack, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
This is Jack.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jack Dempsey, famous boxer from whatever time, maybe the 50s or 60s.
Yeah, and it's literally like, and then
Or
you
earlier,
come
actually.
out with like
Maybe like the 40s.
haymakers, pretty much.
I'm
Anyway.
gonna keep on track. I'm gonna curve us away from the YouTuber boxing thing. I'm gonna keep us in UFC and boxing though, and that sort of sport, because potentially the final question of the podcast, depending on how we get on, the UFC fighters going into boxing. That's my next question. How do you feel about that?
Like McGregor.
McGregor going into box, and there's more than one, isn't there? I'm convinced. And again, really sorry, this wasn't actually part of my script, but we're kind of riffing, so I can't think of names to put into the mix. But we know that UFC fighters are going into the boxing ring to box, McGregor in particular. Views on that? How do you feel about that? And the boxers aren't coming to the UFC. Have you noticed that? No,
Because of the money.
no,
Because of the money.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
boxers are going
Well-
into UFC fights.
Well, yes, they are, but not names that we know.
oh, okay. I
Because
don't know.
UFC people, it's mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
There are boxers.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are boxers, but they also have like, I don't know,
Kickboxing. and
something else.
So
Yeah,
you think that?
grappling skills.
How do you feel about that
Jiu-jitsu.
blend though? So that blend of where again that must have made so much money. God knows how much money that.
I mean, I
makes,
can
but-
understand because they'll probably get bored of being taken to the ground all the time. At least they just know
Yeah.
they just have to watch out for their fists. They don't have
Yeah.
to watch about legs and anything.
Yeah, if they're strikers.
Oh, and
yeah,
they're
if
thinking,
if they're
"Can it
stand-up,
be easy?"
Yeah, if they're stand-up strikers, then
Yeah.
they want to throw their fists. They don't necessarily always want to be grappling and things like that. So
Yeah.
I
And
think it's safer a UFC person coming across. But sorry, go on.
the gloves are different as well, aren't they, in UFC and
Yeah,
boxing?
yeah.
More
It's
padding
just-
in boxing.
It's just learning, probably learning how to take a hit as well. So in UFC, they're going to know how to take a hit and get used to it. Whereas these YouTubers are coming in and probably aren't used to taking a full-on blow to the face and just stuff. There's got to be a little bit of that where you have to know how to guard and dodge so that you don't get hospitalized.
Yeah.
And I guess the UFC fighters naturally have a bit of that. But
There's
it's
a lot of weight. There's a lot of weight behind boxing gloves, though.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's padding for sure.
But
You're not going
they-
to take like actual bone hit to the face.
No.
But it's still very heavy.
Oh, yeah.
They're heavier than an actual fist.
Yeah, of
would be.
course.
I think, again, it's like the same answer I gave for YouTubers. It's like, yeah, cool, come on over. Just do it in the right way.
Yeah.
There was a really great point. Actually, I forgot to mention earlier when we were on this, was about eyeballs on the sport, and someone was saying that like we should be really grateful. I think it was Eddie Hearn actually, like UK agent for anyone that doesn't know, has sight of like AJ for example. But anyway, he said they bring a lot of eyeballs to the sport, and we should be really grateful for it.
Okay.
Which I think is a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I talked about athletics earlier. That needs eyeballs, so maybe that's the golden ticket. Get some fucking YouTubers running around the track. And so-
Maybe
You're
yeah.
not wrong at all.
Yeah.
You're not wrong
Yeah.
at all.
Well, Rich, when we're big,
yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
out
see
there
us
again.
riding around Wembley.
That is a good point. Bringing more viewership to it. And I don't think you need to do it every time, but you can have these moments where it's like, and also we're going to bring in this personality to see if they can be the, like, I don't, maybe not that egregious, but I think for those of you that are super diehard fans to a particular sport, it's nice to have more eyes on that sport, you know what I mean?
I just started having the thought about like what sorts of fucking sports you could bring the top YouTubers to. So imagine, what's that one in where they like
Shuffleboard.
Yeah,
No,
where
not
they-
shuffleboard.
Curling?
yeah, curling.
What,
where
and
they,
then
like,
sweeping?
Yeah.
get like Mr. Beast curling or something like that, and it'd be like,
The curling championship's got about 1 million views.
Yeah,
it's gone
not-
from like hundreds of views to millions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's probably like 100 or so thousand curling fans in the UK. It goes up to like 1.2 million because
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
B, because not in a horrible way. Curling, I actually don't mind watching curling when it's on the
Curling's quite
TV, to be fair. But how many actual die-hard curling fans that could list for top curlers in the world?
Probably like 2.
I think we won it last time.
Do we?
And that's
Yeah,
such a
I
good
think we won it in
thing.
the Olympics.
Let's just
Nah,
put
let's not-
YouTubers everywhere. I'm going back on everything. YouTubers, just in everything.
The professional sumo. Like,
Yeah, so you
Tom-
just get like a skinny guy against them.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong, but it's also like you don't want to damage the authenticity of the competition.
No.
That's the only problem, right? So I think you bring it, but you bring it on separate nights. You know, you bring it separately, right?
But
It's like Sidemen. They do
Oh, they did
they
the
they
football.
do
charity
a
events,
charity
don't
football
they?
event, and I actually think that's quite cool to watch
Yeah.
because they're on a full pitch. It's YouTube. Mr. Beast was on there,
Yep.
you
They
know,
get
and all this
celebrities
sort of-
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's cool to see them actually try and play
Yeah.
football on like a full pitch with their sort of physiques
Yeah.
and all that.
And they've
So-
probably got that idea because isn't there England versus the rest of the world? They do that for soccer
Yes,
aid, don't they?
Yeah.
So they've probably just latched onto that and gone, that'd be good. And it sold
It
so
does
well,
well.
didn't it? Like, not as in England versus the rest of the world. I mean, like the YouTube Sidemen game. Like that stadium was full, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There wasn't really an empty seat. And again, they must have shifted those tickets and they're thinking, this is brilliant. We can do anything.
Yeah.
We can do
Yeah.
anything we
Yeah.
want and make a killing out of it. Oh,
Bad idea.
Yeah,
Once you
yeah.
start cooking, innit? You start
do
coming
it.
out, you go, "Ooh,
Maybe
hello."
we should go to the professional kendo championships.
what's kendo?
Martial arts.
The kendo's like sword.
Oh, ignore me. Martial arts with swords.
Can we go to Putt Putt Noodle, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't know why that reminded me of Putt Putt Noodle.
Today.
Should we go today?
Should we go
Do
today?
you guys want to know what Putt Putt Noodle is? Do you guys know what Putt Putt Noodle is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
know.
do.
What is Putt Putt Noodle?
It's like putt, and then afterwards you have noodles. And, or like,
it
what's the
sounds good.
cuisine? Is it Japanese?
Asian.
It's Asian, but is it Japanese?
I think it's. I don't know.
Sushi, right?
It- well,
But- But the
Noodle
Yeah,
could be
it's like-
Chinese.
well, sushi isn't noodles.
yeah, but surely they have some noodles in those dishes.
Nah, rice.
occasionally.
Not in sushi dishes.
Sushi is rice.
Is it all rice? Okay, so I don't know. It's not really my
If
cuisine.
you just say Asian, you cover it all. You can't be wrong.
Think of something else. So there's Putt Putt Noodle. What what kind of delicacy could you put with what's bought? Box French fries. I don't know.
You don't like.
I've curveballed this completely. I don't know why
Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
this, but I've completely
I
thrown
I
us
don't
off
know
the
where you've
topic.
come from here.
trying to compute here.
like-
man.
Where we've gone from boxing UFC.
Imagine if you put, if you actually did, you know the party game you play where you play Mario Kart, but you have to like down a drink.
Yeah.
You put that in the F1.
So we're
Hamilton.
drink drive F1.
Hamilton is. You can hear the comms. Okay, you need a pit stop to take a shot.
Yeah. Hamilton, Jaeger bomb, pull in now, pull
Yeah,
in.
pulling now. Your wheels come off. Also, we've got a Jaeger bomb here for you.
And while they're doing that, one of them's giving him a.
Yeah,
The
Oh.
most important job.
Into a funnel that just goes straight into his
yeah.
body.
The pit.
Yeah, his visor goes up.
Oh my God, that was a world-breaking pit stop, and Hamilton somehow smashed the beer in 2 seconds.
Imagine watching their times as they go around the track, just fucking awful.
All the crashes.
That'd be sick.
I think we've got another new sport. Anyway, we've digressed massively. We're going to call it there, guys. We had a very big UFC. What did we even talk about this podcast, guys? I've
Just
lost my
UFC
mind.
and boxing.
UFC.
Tattoos.
Oh,
Tattoos.
yeah.
Tattoos. I wonder what
yeah.
percentage of boxers and UFC fighters have tattoos, because that's going to be
I think it's quite high.
A very high
That's
amount.
about 80%.
I reckon it's going to be like 80%, isn't it? It's going to be super
No,
duper
but
high.
we have to think about all the boxers in the world.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
suppose.
but
we're not-
they all think they're hard, so they'll get tattoos.
Okay. Is that how
All right,
tattoos
that's how tattoos work.
Hard people get
I
tattoos.
thought I was hard.
I'm not hard,
Oh,
that's why I don't have a
Jack.
tattoo.
Guys, it's been so much fun. Like podcast 13, we made it. We're still going strong. Stick around. I hope you like the rest of our videos as well. We do podcasts bi-weekly, so go back on the channel. You might see something really cool that you really enjoy, or you won't. But
Yeah. So all you bisexuals out there, make sure to tell your other bisexual friends that we do it bisexually weekly.
Jesus Christ.
Now we're cancelled.
Now we're cancelled.
I think we'll have to cut that.
100%.
Guys, manual cut. We're coming back in here potentially. Who knows? Thank you so much for checking it out. We'll see you on the next one.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.